And that is your issue to solve. That is not Christ's issue to solve in you. Oh, yes. Because that's our grace cop-out. Our Grace New Covenant cop-out is, well, Jesus is going to have to solve that in me. And there's going to be more than one thing in your life that Jesus comes along and goes, I've already paid for all this stuff. When are you going to let some stuff go and pick some other stuff up? I'm standing here waiting. I finished my work. I'm not asking you to work for any of your righteousness or your favor or your identity or your forgiveness, but I am saying you were created unto good works. Let's let some good works go, shall we? Let's start by loving the people he loves, forgiving whom he forgives. And if you say, I don't know whom he loves or he forgives, just start with, I don't get to tell him who not to. I personally believe that he doesn't have any limits. I don't believe he's met anybody he doesn't like. I believe he's met a lot of my moments that he's not pleased with some of the stupidity I'm pulling. Because that's the way I feel about my kids. See, I love my kids. I cried like a baby. My son walked across the platform last Sunday. I was tough. I wasn't going to cry. I really didn't even think about it. And then when I saw him and I realized that he's not a kid anymore and he's a man and that he just went out and did something he dreamed of doing and that I get messed up telling you that, so we're going to stop. I thought, man, look at him. There's nothing that kid could do right. There's nothing that kid could do I wouldn't love him. And I'll watch my daughter walk her. I dread this moment. I'll watch my daughter walk across the stage next Friday, and I'm going to say, there's nothing that girl couldn't do I wouldn't love her. Nothing she could pull. No stunt she could devise. No stupid decision she could make that I wouldn't be running after her. Just chasing her till I drove her nuts. Dad loves you. Dad loves you. I don't believe God's put up a fence or a parameter. I'm not smart enough to know anything more than getting in is through Jesus. I'm not smart enough to know anything more than that. Getting in is through Jesus. I don't get to tell Jesus who gets in. We leave it in his hands. So what is our role? Yes, we love our neighbor. Yes, we try to make the world a better place by simply doing unto others as we'd have them do to us, because it's a pretty good place to start. But we stop putting up the stop sign. We tear it down. Throw the Jubilee party for everyone. Love them equally, unconditionally. Accept them warts and all. When they come home smelling like hog pen, we love them. We don't wait for them to get home. We run down the lane with new shoes and new clothes and a fatted calf on the fire. And we go, we've been saving this for you, man. This is you. Yeah, but I haven't said the right prayer. I haven't done the right. No. I love how the Father, just stop talking, son. Stop talking. Welcome home. You are the vagabond, the poor, the stranger. Perfect. Jubilee's thrown for you. You're not worse than Naaman the Syrian. You're not an outsider like the widow of Zarephath. And yet the grace of God extends to you. Is your eye evil because God is good? I don't think there's very many people in here with an evil eye. I know I'm preaching to the choir. But we have to lay these things out in front of us all of the time. Even when we think we got it nailed, we have to put it out in front of us so that we know it's a real thing. Because if Jesus asked his disciples, maybe he's asking his disciples now. If he asked them then, maybe I need to take the question serious. And you didn't set through some sort of master class, and you didn't set through a whole semester, but you got a little bit of what they had when they went into the question. And having a little bit of what they had when they went into the question, and having a whole lot of what you have when you come into the question. Who gets excluded in your world? I honor this church because it's a place that from the moment you park your car, you feel like Jubilee belongs to you. You know? Like you get to be part of the party. Like you don't have to know everybody's name and you don't have to have a history with them or a past with them. Just embrace you like, hey, welcome home, family. I always feel like that's what church should feel like, no matter where you go. This idea that I got to find a kingdom church or a grace church or a finished work church, I just want to find a church that just accepts people. I'm going to tell you what, I could handle a lot of stupid doctrine if you just loved people when they came through the door. If you just accepted people unconditionally, I mean, they could get up and say, because you're not going to be happy anyway. Like if you're picking a church because I got to nail the doctrine, you're going to pick something apart, and then you're going to be a problem. Really, I mean, because it's just going to be pick. It's like that guy that comes out every week and goes, you know, that sermon was good, except. Oh, you could have left that out. I mean, yeah. But this is a house I honor it. Such a flow of the love of God and the grace of God. But that's the corporate. You're an individual inside of the corporate. Happen to belong to a great family that is corporate, but you're going to walk out of the corporate gathering and you're going to go be an individual in a world that badly needs an individual to show up that looks like Jesus once in a while. And you might not walk on their water or turn their water to wine. You might not heal their sick and raise their dead, but if you can love them, if you can accept them the way Jesus did and went, Jubilee's come to your house today, well, that's a good place to start.